Week 3 NFL. I got 3 plays for you here on Sunday. Let's get after it. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Craig Bennett, aka Cash Cake from Daily Edge Sports. I got 3 plays for you here on Sunday, but let's talk about Thursday's game. Man, the Pats looked absolutely abysmal. They couldn't get anything going on offense. So I want to let you tell me, when do we think we see Drake May take over for Brissett? Let me know in the comments, when do you think it'll happen, what week it will happen. I just don't see them waiting too much longer. Maybe we see, I'm guessing, maybe week 8, week 9. I don't know. You let me know in the comments. But I got 3 plays for you here on Sunday. And if you don't have that account, you want to join along, use that promo code CashKeg. Play $5, get $50 instantly. It is that easy. Let's jump in. Let's get after it. Let's talk some plays. All right, Prizepicks desktop is up here, and we are going to talk about 3 plays for Sunday's slate. Should be a fun one here. Looks like 1 play for the 1 p.m. and then I got 2 for the 4 p.m. Eastern games. Let's first talk about the first play for the 1 p.m. slate here. Should be a great game. We got the Philadelphia Eagles playing the New Orleans Saints, and the Saints have just been absolutely boat racing people. I mean, absolutely crushing them. Where they played Carolina in week 1, 47-10, and then Dallas, going into Dallas and just crushing them 44-19. That offense, new offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak's been absolutely amazing with this offense, and I think this game's going to be more competitive against Philly. But the one guy that really hasn't been super involved, but they really haven't had to play a competitive game, is Chris Olave. And I think where we can look at him is receptions. That line, the 4.5 line, is actually at minus 144. And then the fantasy score I like as well. He hasn't had a touchdown this year. And I think that Derek Carr's going to get him the ball. They're going to target him. So I like the receptions. I like fantasy score for him. I just think they're going to get him the ball. He's the alpha receiver there. And we've seen Shaheed have just monster games with the deep balls. But I do think this is a game where they're going to get him involved, especially if it's a closer game. We see 4 quarters out of him. It wouldn't surprise me at all for Chris Olave. Like I said, I'd go more than 12.5 fantasy score, or I would go more than 5 receptions. I think both are very much in play. Target-wise, we saw 6 targets in last game against Dallas, where he ended up catching 4 of those. So again, I like either one of those, though, that we can get after. Again, it's up to you, reception-wise or fantasy score. I do think he gets a touchdown, so if you want to play a demon here for the touchdown, I don't mind that as well. I always like to take these star wide receivers that haven't quite got there, and their quarterbacks know, wide receivers can be a little bit of a diva. They got to get them the ball and get them involved. So all these on the top 4, I think, are squarely in play for more in a matchup at home with Philly coming in. That Philly's secondary has been horrendous. They've just been getting absolutely torched. So it's a spot where I think we can take advantage of that. Next one we'll look at, we'll dive into. We're going to go to Deontay Johnson. If I can spell it right. Deontay Johnson. And I'm going to look at going targets, I think, for him at 6 targets. I think you could go receptions. I think you could go reception yards. I think those are all very much in play. And the big reason here is Bryce Young is on the bench. They bring in the Red Rocket, man, or the Red Rifle. I apologize. The Red Rifle and Andy Dalton. And I do think it's going to be a step up. I mean, Bryce was just completely lost. He looked so defeated last game. And they brought Deontay Johnson over from, Pittsburgh for a reason. And, he's got good hands and, he can make plays. And I think that they're going to make a conscious effort to get him the ball. I mean, he had 6 targets in both games this year. And that's with them hardly throwing the ball at all. I mean, play-wise, like he just didn't have a ton of plays. Last week they only ran 46 plays, just absolutely abysmal, where they lost 26-3. In week 1, again, the Saints just absolutely crushed them, where he ended up running 47-10, and they had 55 plays. But yeah, with the Red Rifle coming in and behind the helm here, I think we're going to see a lot of targets to Adam Thielen, to Deontay Johnson, and that offense is just going to look a lot better having a veteran back there. Not saying they're going to be amazing or they're going to win this game, but I do think it's a spot where there's going to be more involvement for guys like Deontay Johnson. So if you want to go receptions, targets, fantasy score, yards, I'm perfectly fine with all of them. I think I would land on targets, though, if I had to pick just one of them. It feels the safest out of the bunch. But again, perfectly fine if you want to run any of those 4. And hopefully the Red Rifle can get it done for us there on Sunday. And then the last one we're going to dive into here is we're going to go to the good old Miami, man. I hope Tua, gets healthy. But it's a spot where, they're going to have Skylar Thompson running their offense. And Skylar Thompson is not good at throwing the ball down the field. That offense is going to struggle massively. Just not going to throw the ball down the field at all. And we're going to see a lot of work, I believe, with Achane here. So 26 or 25.5 feels way too low. Now, if you look at this, PrizePicks is trying to get one over on here because, look, this is in January. He has had 76 and 69 receiving yards the first two weeks here against Jacksonville and Buffalo. And then if you come out with McDaniel come out and said he'd be pessimistic that Mostert would play. So if that's the case, I mean, we saw Devon out there with them getting absolutely crushed by Buffalo, and he was out there catching balls in the fourth quarter. Made no sense to me. This is way too low, especially if he's the only back, and 25.5 is just feels almost free to me. We're not going to see Skylar Thompson push the ball down the field too much. We're probably going to see a lot of close A-dot throws, with Achane and Hill. I think, anything down the field is just going to absolutely struggle. So we should see a ton of balls here for him. 25.5 just feels way too low. And he caught a ton of balls as well. I mean, he had 7 receptions in both of those games. So anything in receptions, if it's at 2.5 or 3.5, I like taking over that as well. But these yards are just way too low, and especially if Mostert sits. So we're going to look at 25.5 more than that. So those are the 3 plays that we are looking for here. Again, let me know in the comments, when do you think that that the Patriots are going to go to Drake May? I'd be real curious what your thoughts on that. So appreciate you guys. Hit that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel. Let's have a great week 3 of NFL, and let's get after it. Deuces.